Hi everybody, welcome. Rob Provencher here. So if you're having a portrait done, especially if you're having a portrait done, say of your family, or it could be of your kids, or of a couple, or first communion, or an engagement session, and you're considering having something placed on your wall, well, there's two things you ought to do. One is get an idea of where it's going to go in your home. If you have a couple of ideas, that's fine. And we always suggest you take your phone or a camera and get some snapshots. Everybody uses phones, a smartphone or an Android. Get a picture of the wall and just text it to us. And we'll get an idea of some of the poses that we're going to create for you later on once the session is done. So get a measurement as well. So let's say, for example, you have a wall in your family room or your living room above the couch, which is a very common spot for a family portrait especially. Get an idea as to how wide it is, and we can work it in there. And what I will often do is, once the session is done, I'll take those images, I'll take the actual photo, one of the favorite photographs from the session, and put it onto the wall in the shot of, say, your living room. And you can see exactly what, more or less what it's going to look like, either in color or black and white, in different sizes, and you get a pretty good idea of the final look. The other thing, too, that's really important, and this goes to the actual time when the session's done. So after you've booked your session, after you've come in and had the images created by me, of course, you've done the clothing preparation, and you coordinated with Tina all these ideas. And once it's all done, and you're coming in to look at the session results, when you're looking at the images, your first reaction is going to be pretty important. So when you're looking through them, if you look at an image and you go, oh, I like that, and let's say that happens to about 5 or 6 images, or maybe 1 or 2 or a dozen, and then you go through them again, and then you start analyzing why you didn't pick the other images. That's not a good idea. You really want to go with your heart versus your head. Your heart is the one that says, oh, I like that. And your head goes, well, why didn't I pick these? And that's too analytical. If you go by the analytical side, you're probably not going to be happy in the long run, because the analytical never wins out. The heart always wins out. And the heart images are the images that, for whatever reason, have emotion. There's an emotional connection to you in the images. You just like them. You just like them. And it doesn't matter if they're slightly flawed. Sometimes there'll be something a little bit off. We get a little bit analytical, like why isn't my son's right ear the same size as the left ear, or something weird like that. That's what happens when you start overanalyzing the images. So if you see an image you love, and hopefully the image that you love is just about near perfect as you can get. Hopefully, that's my goal, is to achieve that. If you love the image from your emotional level, that's all that matters, because in the end, you'll be happy with them. And that applies to families, fairies, kids, grad pictures, first communion, whatever. These are all images that are reflective of times in our lives and the people in our lives that we truly, truly love, and it marks that point in time. Sometimes people ask me, when's the best time to get a portrait done? That's a really impossible question to answer, because there is no best time. Obviously, for a wedding, wedding pictures are taken when the wedding happens. First communion, in and around the first communion. Graduation, same thing. Engagement portraits, sooner is better, but if it's 2 months before the wedding. Family pictures, families change so much after each year, so that's the hardest one to pinpoint the best time. One time we do see a lot is when the kids are getting older and they're going off to university or college. So that's a time which sort of makes you think that, well, maybe it's time to get a family portrait. Other than that, it's really your marking time. Some people get them every 5 years, some people get them every year, some people get them every 10 years. So there's no hard, fast rule. It's up to you. But we always think that having a family portrait done right, done so it's pleasing and something you're emotionally connected to, and it looks good, especially when it's on your wall, that's important. All right. I hope this has helped. Thanks.